Hello, my name is John Rose, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the obstacles on the hero's journey. And one of the very first obstacles that beginners have on the hero's journey is ridicule, and people will laugh at you. And in the beginning that can be a little upsetting because we really don't understand what's going on. But remember, one of the steps on the hero's journey, one of the stages on the hero's journey is to gather data. And one of the things you gather about the hero's journey is that the truth has enemies, and that the truth goes through 3 steps. First, it's ridiculed. Second, it's violently opposed. Then it's accepted as self-evident. So the masses are going to laugh at the truth. So when we tell people that there's actually a simple solution to solve most of our problems, people are going to laugh at you. They're going to think it's too simple. They're not going to believe you. And once we're on the hero's journey long enough, we finally realize, okay, some people don't know the truth, so they're going to laugh at me. I understand that. And I can actually take it as a compliment, realizing that these people are like little children that don't yet understand their father's words. Ha ha, daddy, 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 na, 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 na. You're making nonsense. Doesn't make sense. There's not a simple solution to all of our problems. How can you know more than all the experts? The experts. Yeah, right. So-called experts who've been misdirected. So while we're on the hero's journey, we have to understand these obstacles for a very good reason. Because some of these obstacles can be like roadblocks on our journey and stop some people dead in their path. We don't want that to happen. That's why we need to understand these obstacles so that they can just become bumps in the road, and eventually we can actually come to appreciate some of those bumps, realizing that it's going to be nice when there aren't any more bumps in the road. But that's only when we can reach the tipping point. And that is the ultimate goal on the hero's journey, is to reach the tipping point. That's why the most important step on the hero's journey is to share this message. So the first step is to have the ears to hear the message. The second step is to accept the mission and prove what I'm saying is true. Where do you begin? The first step, go down below in the description box. That's a seminar I gave on how to do the first of a 3-step process that I perfected. And that's where we're going to correct 5 main mistakes on a temporary basis to show people what's going to happen when we just correct these 5 mistakes, and then we'll consider afterwards whether or not we want to make those mistakes anymore. Because a lot of us are going to think those aren't mistakes. But watch what happens when we correct all 5 of them, and then you figure it out from there. Until then, you really won't be in a position to evaluate what's going on. So the first step, you got the ears to hear. Second step, I accept the mission. I'm going to test an idea as time has come. Third step, you gather ideas and allies, people to help you on this mission. The fourth are the obstacles, and that's what we're focusing on in this video today. The first obstacle, people are going to laugh at us. Okay, that's the masses. It's a numbers game. You got to hear a few laughs before you get to someone that goes, thank you for saving my life. And that's what we're talking about here. This is talking about life-saving information. People are suffering, and you can't let this information not get out there and spread. And why isn't it out there yet? Because of these obstacles. In other words, there are a lot of people who don't want this information out. As I mentioned, the truth has enemies. And you're going to find that the best way to control the opposition is to rule it ourselves. That's what they think. So that's what happens in this movement. In all movements, you've got controlled opposition coming in, making sure that they don't allow you guys to be successful. And the people who rule the world, their MO is divide and conquer. They have to remain invisible. They're like magicians. And they want to disappear and get us to fight amongst ourselves. It's all about distraction. And I know deep down that we can make things really complicated or really simple if we just focus on getting reconnected and not being distracted. Because those are the only 2 options. Either you're getting reconnected, you're going upstream, you're correcting these mistakes, especially the first one, which is what makes us disconnected. That's why you're getting reconnected. But then we also have to go downstream and deal with all the damage that's done with ourselves and society and the environment and everything else. There's a lot of downstream work. And the key here is once you're on the hero's journey long enough and you study everyone else who has what they think are solutions, you realize, but all you guys are having is a downstream solution. Yes, we need downstream solutions. But I hadn't found one of them yet that were saying, but we also have to go upstream and get reconnected because that's how we got these downstream problems. And yet, when people find the knowledge I'm talking about, the knowledge of how to live, in the beginning they don't understand everything well enough, and they don't emphasize the downstream work. They say, oh, upstream, upstream, upstream. But the longer you're on the hero's journey, the more you realize that in the same way, people who say, here's a downstream solution, but also go upstream, we who have the upstream solution got to say, yes, but we also have to go downstream. We have to change the way the economic system is set up right now, so it won't be used to control us as much as it is now, with an understanding that we shouldn't have that type of mentality. And it's all based on being disconnected. We've got the wrong mentality because we lost one of our senses. This is so simple to understand once you realize what's being destroyed with the fall of mankind and why that means. That's how we opted out of nature. That's why we went from a golden age to a dark age. And now, we now know, everybody talks about it, that there's an evil aspect of man that didn't exist before that fall. We did something that made us a sick species that preys upon itself and has the wrong mentality. We want to compete for everything when we should cooperate and share. There's so much abundance on this planet. We should have paradise right now. And that's the purpose of the hero's journey, is to help us go back to the garden, so to speak. And this is just a place where we don't have problems that are within our control, and the hero is a person who can solve all those problems that are within our control, meaning you are the hero. So the obstacles on the hero's journey, let's make sure they're just bumps in the road. Don't let them be roadblocks. You're going to find a lot of roadblocks that are going to just make you want to give up. When you go to message boards and try to get this information out, I've been doing this for 16, 17 years, and I know what the obstacles are like. I study my opposition, so I know when I see an internet shill, and I see how they manipulate what Lenin called the useful idiots. They'll find the friendly posters on message boards that really don't have a whole lot of knowledge or much to contribute, but they'll befriend them, they'll suck up to them, so they'll have people on their side, and it's almost like the show Survivor, where you have these alliances. It's the exact same thing. That's what these internet shills do. They try to come in and create an alliance. They suck up to certain people that they know will support them because that's the kind of personality they are. They're friendly people. Oh my God, someone's attacking Susie. Susie's an internet shill. And if you understood how everything works, you could actually say, well, I'm gonna be her boss today and evaluate how well she's doing. Boy, what a good job, Susie. Yeah, you get bonus points today for the things you're doing. And look how you suck up to certain people, and sure enough, they come to your defense. And who do you attack? The ones who threaten the rulers of the world the most with this knowledge. So it's easy to spot the internet shills. They can't attack the message itself, so they always attack the messenger. And they're going to try to make it look like it's personal and that you're responding from it on a personal point of view, but I've been around the block too long. I don't take any of this stuff personal. I know what's going on. I know when I'm dealing with an ignorant person or a person who's actually has an agenda. I can tell. I can feel it. My biphoton levels are high. I can feel it. I know. I can almost feel. In fact, whenever I post on a message board, I know what that person's going to say, and when I go out for a bike ride or something, I go ahead and I create my next post because I know exactly what they're saying. They're so predictable. The thing about our enemy, the thing about these obstacles, is they're predictable. They have an MO. Study these things to help you on your journey. If you're really serious about this and you want to understand how to deal with all these obstacles, create a file on con artists and psychopath and study their MO. And you're going to see, okay, this is what con artists do. And you see, well, God, that's exactly what this person is doing, and this person is doing, and this person is doing. There's a methodology to that, to what they're doing. And once you study it, you recognize it. And the only problem is when you're on message boards, you're the only one that sees it, or one of the few who do. And everyone else thinks something's wrong with you because you're pointing something out that might be negative. It is negative. Internet shills they exist. And remember, the only thing the powers that be fear the most is an idea whose time has come. There's only one idea, period. We got to stop duplicating the fall of mankind, period. Case closed. That's the only thing that's important. So the raw food message has enemies. And if you don't think there's internet shills on message boards creating chaos and disharmony and attacking people, you're delusional, or you haven't studied enough to recognize the enemy. They're easy to recognize if you pay attention. Most people don't pay attention and follow what people are saying here and here and here and here. A lot of times they read things after the fact and they don't realize, oh, why did that person say that? Well, maybe if you understood what's going on this other thread, you'd see the connection. So remember, this can really deflate a lot of people. Don't let these obstacles turn into roadblocks. Don't put too much attention on them. Don't take things personally. But defend the truth from a point of view that's obvious that this isn't personal. I know you got to attack the messenger in order to attack the message. So don't let the truth be assaulted. That's the purpose of people on the hero's journey, is to defend the truth and get us to the tipping point. Because if we don't reach the tipping point, if we can't get enough of us to wake up, things are never going to change. And things have gotten so bad and haven't gotten any worse. It's the same thing that's happening. When you look back at Russell Troll's speech he gave back in 1862, 154 years ago, he complained about what was happening in the medicine, and the same exact thing is happening today. I pointed out that medicine is the ultimate tool of control, because everything in our society has to do with us being sick. That's why the hero's journey is all about getting healthy. And it's an idea as time has come. Every one of us plays a role when it comes to solving problems and getting out of this hell we created by being the best that we can be. And the only way we can do that is to satisfy all of our needs, but yet we don't have the knowledge of how to do that. Most of us have no idea how to live, especially how to eat. And even within the raw vegan community, there's a lot of conflict and discrepancies between how people think we should make that work. And as far as I'm concerned, we've got to unite and offer some sort of unified message to the masses. Stop fighting with one another. Stop shooting inside the tent. And offer a unified message, and realize that once enough of us start doing this, then we'll be devoting all of our attention and energy, or a lot of it will be devoted toward understanding how to perfect this way of life. And it won't be a mystery. Right now it's a mystery because the people who are supposed to study this aren't taught anything that's of any significance or any importance. Look at our nutritionists, look at doctors. You guys are so effing incompetent, I can't even stand having conversations with you because you're so arrogant, you think you know so much. You present your little rabbit hole information, not realizing the big picture and the big mistake we're making. That's worse than an elephant in the room. We're cooking our food. None of you doctors, none of you nutritionists recognize, say, no, I coach a lot of you guys and you're preaching the same message. But the vast majority of you clowns are so invested in your knowledge you can't let go of it. Because it isn't complicated. We can teach a 7-year-old child everything they need to know that nutritionists study and doctors study in less than 10 minutes. It isn't complicated when you realize the raw food factor. That eliminates a lot of things, doesn't it? You're not going to make the second mistake, animals. Third mistake, grains. Fourth mistake, processed foods. Fifth mistake, chemicals. If we didn't make the first mistake, the first cause, the fall of mankind, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in today. There's only one solution. We got to correct the mistake that we're all making on a day-to-day basis. And that's a frightening concept. It scares the hell out of most people to think they're never going to be able to eat another hamburger. That's not our mindset in the beginning. We want to have the mindset that we have too many references that support our current belief system and current way of life to challenge what this man is saying. I don't want to believe him. But there's something you can do. You can test an idea as time has come, and you'll get a brand new reference from that. That will more than challenge all these old references. They'll blow the socks off of them. Because you will come to a realization, especially if you're older and you've had a lot of problems, that none of the systems that we're trying to solve them will ever be able to solve them. Why? Because you solved them. You are the hero. And yes, there are obstacles on the hero. So what? Be strong, be brave. Kick them out of your way. Don't let them be a roadblock. Don't get discouraged. Stay motivated. Because there's nothing more important on this planet right now than for everyone to realize the role they play. And that things could change so fast. Think about it. We worry about this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and this problem. There is an ultimate solution to all of them. This is too simple. And it's provable. Do the first of my 3-step process, my friends, and I guarantee you, you are in for a treat.